Gabriel, my next question is a little longer one. I'm going to break it down for you. So, there's been a lot of debate around learning styles being a myth or it lacks scientific evidence, right? Now, how should L&D leaders approach this debate, especially when looking for ROI and evidence-based strategies?
You have given me a smile because I have faced these questions in a different way.
Right.
Not to put it in anybody's quote unquote, what will I get?
Okay.
I mean, okay, Gabriel, model is good, your program looks good, trainer feedback is 5 out of 5.
Right.
What did I get? First things first, and I'll break it down very simple for the listeners to understand is everything is a myth and everything is not a myth.
Okay.
It's a very
Debatable
topic,
rather, right.
but let me clarify that part. If I look at that model from an impact ratio, then I will be not creating anything from that, because then I'm thinking, if this model doesn't give, then I'll go to another model. If that model doesn't give, I go to another model. So what am I doing? I am going to model 1, model 2, model 3. Right. In the entire history of behavioral science, and this is my personal opinion, apart from few models, Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs,
Right.
situational leadership 1, which is Paul Hershey, John Dewey, and Kenneth Blanchard, and SL2, which is Blanchard model. Even though they say they have a ROI impact on that using that model, you would be surprised how many programs people have created from this model.
Okay. Their own versions.
Versions of it. So, evidence-based thought processes or empirical, it's a age-long debate. Psychology itself sometimes speaks whether I should go with evidence-based thought processes or I should go with cognitive thought processes. Now, you have to understand as an L&D professional, because if you're trying to create a strategy, okay, what is the strategy need for?
Right.
Forget models. Let us get into a little bit in a different way. You join a company as a L&D leader or a senior manager at L&D, and the first meeting with the CHRO and the CEO, they say, you know what, I want to give you a statement and you build something on there. And this happened with me. Learning through excellence is my visionary statement.
Learning through excellence. Okay.
Right? It's a huge line. The people who has worked more than 20 years will understand it's not easy to put into something.
Right.
Now, before any model comes in, that's where your thought process has to turn into that effect ratio. What exactly are you expecting from this vision? So then it's okay. I'm looking at that my organization becomes a learning organization. Okay. What do you mean by becoming a learning organization? Just doing programs, or creating something as a long-term effect, or creating something known as a mid-term effect,
right,
or a short-term effect? Now, from a CEO's perspective, they'll always say long-term.
Right.
Then you ask the question, okay, when you say long-term, what is the long-term? 1 year, 2 year, 5 year? Now, in today's perspective, and I'm taking into a cynical perspective, you can have a smile, everybody will say 1 year.
Right.
So that means they're asking you to develop a model from what you said, the strategy, and then you do the fitment of the program. So you're working from a reverse side. You're not thinking what is the learner expectation. You're not thinking what is the learner style. You're first just creating a base model.
Right.
You can choose anyone now. Whether it is Felder-Silverman model, whether it is Bloom's taxonomy. Yes, you can use. In one of the companies where I was working as a director, I was told that, Gabriel, okay, I'll use the problem statement so that people understand. Gabriel, I want to reduce my churning rate. What does it mean? Any people is joining the company from 0 to 90 days, where the people are leaving soon.
Right.
So we have to ensure that. Now, we had a huge discussion. It took me, if I go March, April, May, June, July, it took me 6 months of rigorous working to launch the program.
Wow.
So even they say 1 year, you cannot go ahead and say, yes, I will do so.
Right.
If there are people who can do it, I will definitely want to have their perspective. But for me, with whatever cognition I have,
right,
what happened in 6 months? So we created a model which we said after the handover is done, there will be a handover takeover document. We called it the OTO
Photo
document.
document, right?
Now, what will happen in handover takeover? So the people who are hiring, they will not only rate them,
Mm-hmm.
they'll give a behavioral analysis of that person from a disciplinary perspective, from their behavioral perspective, from their way they are coming to the office, how their knowledge assessment test,
Right.
all.
Right.
Then we said once that is done, we have the first part of it. Then we went to training. We said training will not only be done by the trainers.
Mm-hmm.
We want business also to join in. So we created a target-based training program where we will give them targets which is based on actual life floor. If it's a
Okay.
sales, you are in a sales training for 15 days, but for 2 days you will go out and you will try to sell whatever the parameters are.
Right.
With a known person, we're not leaving you idle or in isolation. From there, we'll do a business review. So there will be a training review, there will be a business review.
Right.
And then we package this entire thing with rewards and recognition.
Okay.
So the best training award, the best performer award. What it did to us was it created a bench so strong
Mm-hmm.
that I don't want to speculate it, but I was told, Gabriel, I want this guy.
Interesting. Interesting.
Now,
But sorry, continue.
now go back to the model.
Mhm.
Process, perceive, input, understand.
Right. Right. So your model came into existence of the implementation.
Exactly.
But the aspect of, when you have large numbers to train and everything, and you have different styles, right? Assuming that, let's go ahead with the thought that there are different learning preferences and
Yeah.
learning styles and everything. How do you cater to all the learning styles at scale?
Bloom's taxonomy.
Elaborate.
Okay, there are 6 models. I don't want to dive it right
Right.
now for the essence of time. So there is something called as remember, create, evaluate, analyze,
Right.
all the 6 steps, right?
Right.
It's from a facilitation standpoint,
Okay.
or Gyane's 9 level of instruction. So
Right.
how do I create an attention of
Mhm.
the people?
Mhm.
How do I set objectives? Okay, I can start a program by a fact. I can start the program by a story.
Right.
I can start a thing by saying my last training batch achieved this many numbers. How many are willing to cross that? So competitive way.
Okay.
So there you are using all those mechanisms because you will have visual learners, you'll have auditory learners, and once you become experienced, Roshan, by the virtue of
You
speaking and all
right.
these things, it comes natural to you.
Right.
So the person. So I'll give you a small anecdote. If a person is a visual learner, he will always say, "Sir, can you go back to the previous slide? I want to some."
Right. Right.
If somebody says, "Sir, can you repeat once again?" I mean, does it mean they are mandatory auditory? Might be they're not understand. So don't
Right.
take it as a generic term.
Right.
But these are the signs during facilitation that you have to gather.
Right.
A person, now let me give you an example. In one of my training programs, I saw a person make notes from the time I started the program. For 2-day program, he made a note of 15 pages
Wow.
in detail.
Wow. Amazing.
So that guy is a R,
Right.
reading, writing.
Right.
So now I know this guy is more on conceptual thought processes.
True.
Now let me connect reflective learners from processing of the Felder-Silverman model,
Right.
which says people learn by reading or working on theories.
Right.
Then once you know that part, then you define. The biggest challenge, I guess what you're asking is, how would you do the same in a virtual program?
Right.
Because face-to-face is much more identical.
Yeah, you can observe, you can do everything.
I think that's the primary question you are
Right.
coming from. So in virtual setup, you will find there are a lot of people who will ask you questions.
Mhm.
Or when you're sending them to breakout rooms or other rooms, you go and observe. And you'll find some people will try to, even in virtual setup also, you know what, do this, let us make a note. So that is the trigger points, those things that come into your point. So facilitation is completely different, but that's how you build up.
Right. Right. Okay. So if we move away of the thought, rather than labeling, your employees by style, is there more value in using the model to diversify instructional strategies and increase reach and retention?
Yes.
Okay. How do you do?
Okay. Let me give you a kind of a problem statement.
Right.
So when I went to this company, they cater to online programs
Okay.
as a company. So even if you have to do a trainer program or a leadership program, they're always online because 5 people are from Bangalore, 5 people are from Delhi, 3 are
Right.
from Mumbai, some will come from, let's say, South Africa. So they have a very specific time of training, which is
Has to
4
be.
to 6 because
It
if you
matches
look,
all the zones.
all the time
overlaps.
zones, 4 to 6 or 4 to
Right.
7. Now, typically for UK, 4 to 6 is kind of lunchtime.
Okay.
Right? For US, it's not yet started.
Right.
For Singapore, it's already ending.
Right.
So now the point is, if you're creating something, you have to also administer these points at certain point of time. Right?
Right.
Okay. No model will tell you this. I'm very sorry to put in this way.
Right.
So Gabriel, I want to do a training program for these people for 2 days in virtual setup. My first point to everybody out there is, do not do a 8-hour program. Break it.
Do not do an 8-hour virtual
program. Break it for 2 for the day 1.
Okay.
Now, how will you link it? Because the moment you say 2 hours, they will now think from a company perspective. Okay, Gabriel, then the cost increases.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So then you say, we'll go for 8 hours, 4 hours of theory, 4 hours of practical.
That's how you make it interesting as well. And the engagement part.
And the
vibes.
engagement part, because there the preferences are very different.
Right.
Okay, I'll share one thing with you as a wonderful incident. I can quote it, a funny one. So I was doing an online program and I saw somebody just
Nodding.
nodding their head. Initially, I thought, okay, it's quite fine about me. It's just nodding their head. After some time, I saw the nodding went on.
Okay.
So then I called out. So let's say, Roshan, have you understood? So Roshan, can you say, there is no communication. I put it on the chat. And suddenly, after some time, I understood that that's a screen image. So as a facilitators, you have to understand. See, models will be there.
Right.
Learner styles will be there. I'm not saying it's a derogatory. Take it with a pinch of salt and go back.
Right.
One of the biggest challenges, not everybody, turn on the cameras.
Right.
So I was doing a virtual program for 2 hours for people from Canada. And in that place, I was doing a workshop called Team Collaboration.
Okay.
2 hours of workshop. After the first 45 minutes, none of the camera was on. So I was going into theoretical questioning mode. And suddenly I realized, let me change it.
Right.
So I said, take a 15-minute break. Once we come back, we'll do an activity. During this time, I created an activity. It's an activity, win as much as you can.
Right.
I created a digital version of it. And trust me, 25 people came on camera and it was a chaos. It was a chaos. So everyone now wants to participate.
Right.
And I did the entire debrief of the program. Whatever model you have, Roshan, whatever you have, it ultimately comes down to that individual who's going to run it. Whether the learner preference exists or a myth, ROI, this pressure is going to be with that L&D professional throughout the career.
Right. I see the winner as the learner experience over here. It kind of supersedes everything.
That's the key word. And honestly, I have not grown in one day.
Right.
I come from the training background where we started on OHP
setups. I remember those.
I mean, a lot of people might not understand,
Right.
but used to write on those
Correct.
papers for projections, and suddenly the power goes off, the entire training is stopped. From there, today AI is doing a training program of your version. Microsoft Teams has an AI version of Gabriel,
right,
who looks very sleek all the way. I mean, jokes apart. But I would come back to this point. It boils down to that individual.
True.
That's the strategy.
Thank you, Gabriel, for giving us that clarity again.